Right, well, good morning, players. I've managed to get up for a quick hour this morning before the next storm rolls in. Unfortunately, Storm Brendan hit me last night. If you've been watching my Facebook page, and he ripped a 10-foot by 5-foot chunk out of polytunnel. That was the other morning. Fortunately, me and Les, my son, got up and we managed to stick it down with some heavy-duty tunnel tape. And of course, what we did do is we got out, me and Roger, I tied a bit of cargo netting, some it's staging debris netting, what the stagers use, the white, and I got 2 lengths of that, and of course I've wrapped it right over the full length of the tunnel, and laddered it down to the side where we've got the timbers along the side where we have our skirts on, and hopefully that's going to keep the polythene down until we can get a new skin. I've been looking online at different companies that do them. It's been nearly 5 years since we last ordered a skin, so I'm just going to have to bite the bullet this year and buy a new one. Of course, as I mentioned in the Facebook update, that Roger's been potting up the Bellis Daisy, and they're all in the 9cm pots now. Absolutely fantastic. Some really nice plants in them. What I've managed to do, not a great deal, but I have managed to do to get the last of the chrysanthemums cut back. And of course I'm left with some lovely nice cuttings on the stools. That's a Liverpool Festival, that one. And what I want to do is to get these inside the melon house. And tomorrow morning our aim is to get the new roof on the melon house. So I've got some new polythene for that. Once again, it's UVI, and it's only a metre wide, but it's 20 metre long, so I can cut that in half. I'll put a piece on there, and I've got a piece for the other 100-foot greenhouse to repair the back on that. So it's all about repair jobs at the moment. There's another storm going to hit this afternoon, so I don't want to be able to get too long. As I say, Roger's potted off the Bellis Daisy. Fantastic job, nice and neat. Well pleased with them. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. With a dozen in. 96 plants. Family and friends. Our garden first, and the family and friends. It'll be lovely. Nice strong plants are planting out in March. Back into March. But yeah, we're getting there. Slowly but surely. As I say, I've just got to take it easy because I'm not too strong on my feet just yet. I've still got a few jobs I want to get started in here, but for the time being I'm just going to plod on. What I did do yesterday, I put another shelf up in here. So this is my big trays. We like to use these quite a lot. What I can do is I can put seedling trays up together, and I can sit all them in here and water them all from down below. To me that's a great idea, water from down below, because you don't put any moisture on the plants whatsoever at this time of the year on top, because to me that's a big no-no. That's where you get your moulds from, your viruses, pathogens, especially if you're using dirty water. You're going to spread it over the top of the compost, and one of your main things this time of the year is dampening off. Cold temperatures, cold soils, and poor light. Fortunately up here we've got great light. The sun hasn't come up yet. It's a really dark day today, but nice and light in here. When the sun is shining, we'll get it first thing in the morning till last thing at night. And I'm going to take full advantage of that this year, because I'm not going to put the light on down home. I'm not going to use my secondary lighting. I'm going to use the melon house. I'm going to put a small heater in there, small paraffin heater, just to keep the temperature up. And I'm hoping to start sowing the onions. What I will do down home is I'll sow some lobelia, because I have got a little bit of heat on down there. And what I have done is taken some trays down and the plastic covers. I'll start sowing lobelia, maybe at the end of this video, because lobelia is one of them plants that are long grown. Same as the begonias, the petunias, you know, they take quite a while to grow, so I like to get them pretty early. So I'll be making the mix up down home for that. But at the time being, I want to get I was planning on doing these up here. I'm going to take these down home today and get them chopped up. Now Jason Hughes, hello Jason, hope you're watching again, pal. Well, Jason Hughes commented on the YouTube channel, how on earth do you get plants out of a pile of sticks? Well, that one there is the one I just cut out the 100-foot greenhouse. Chopped that grapevine well back, right back to the main rod, and just left one rod all the way along, and that's all the side shoots that come off it. Now I'm going to take them down, Jason, and I'm going to cut them up. I'll take them down home. I'll take some good sharp sand down, and we'll get them chopped up. Now these ones here are from the black variety. Yes, they're from the black variety. That's these two stems here that I planted last year. Now I have trimmed them back a little bit because I don't want to take all sorts of rubbish down with us. I just want to take a decent sized cane with us, and what I'll do down home, I'll show you how to turn this into some lovely grapevines. But that's the black ones. They're from inside the 100-foot greenhouse, so they're the yellow ones. And if you remember, when I did the grapevine in the bottom polytunnel, the main grapevine, that's been in there for years, that, and I took 3 nice cuttings from there. Now we'll take these down home, and I'll show you how to go on. Now Jason thinks that the old dry wood like this, it's not going to root. Well, Jason, if you get your vine, if you get your, as I say, you want them about just under pencil thickness. To me, that's perfect. That it's a lovely little piece. You don't have to actually use that piece. You can take it down, and you can cut that back again. Not much wood, depending on what size pot you're going to use. I like to use a litre pot, nice and deep, so I can get these well down into sand, get nice and strong, and leave at least 2 buds up a height. Now the buds you leave up a height are going to bust out, and they're going to give you top leaf, and the buds you put on below are going to give you a root. And if I can get up easy enough to the camera, by each leaf node, and that's what that is, it's just a leaf node, where the leaves come out, it will leave a little bud just there. Now that's what's going to shoot. The bud down below will do for roots, and the buds up a height will make a new plant. I'll show you all that when we get on home. For the time being, and of course I've got a few other little bits and pieces like I like to give them help with. They don't need heat. You can put them in a cold greenhouse now, or if you want, you can rub if you're doing in this time of year, what I like to do is in the solstice is when I cut them back. I like to do them straight away so they don't have time to dry out. These are nice and brittle. They're not really brittle as the snap. They've got a bit of movement in them, so it tells me there's still moisture in the actual stem itself. It's nice and flexible. If they snap, and then that will tell us that the 2 foregone, the 2 dried out. So just try them, just make sure. If you've just cut them off your stem, off your main rod, don't worry about it. They'll last for weeks. But I'm going to get these down home today, and we'll get them rooted up. Main things for these is multi-purpose compost and some good sharp sand. That's all you need. What I'm going to do with the sharp sand is add that to multi-purpose compost, nice and free draining. But I'm also going to put 2 inches of sharp sand at the bottom of the pot, and that's what these are going to stand in. But once again, I want a little bit of honey. If you haven't got rooting compost, I use just a little bit of honey on them, because these are going to be in the pots for a good 4 months. If you're going to be rooting these off now, you want to let them get a good root system before you decide to pot them up. So, I like mine in about May or June. It's even longer. That's 5 months. So you want a good depth of pot to get a good root system on them before you decide to pot them up. Once you've potted them up, they'll throw in a lot of growth, and then you can give them to your family and friends for September planting or October, no problem. But that's for down home. But as I say, it's good quality compost, some good sharp sand, and of course one of the other ingredients I like to bottle with the bugs. I'm going to make up a chamomile tea. So what I'll do, I'll make a chamomile tea up down home. There's lots of people asking about it. It's got such a great wide variety of antiseptics and antibiotics built into it, and I've used it for years. And I spray all my bedding plants, all my little cuttings, everything. They get a good spray of chamomile tea, and I think that gives that just that little bit of protection against any moles. It'll not kill any bugs off, but what we'll do, we'll just give it a little bit of protection against the fungi, the moles, and the pathogens, and that's the whole idea of it. But for the time being, as I say, I wanted to come up this morning to check the tunnel to make sure these two pieces of staging there netting are holding, and they're keeping that nice and tight. What we managed to do is, from both sides of the tunnel, now this is 40, it's the 28, the hoops are 28 foot in width from one side to the other, so that's quite a long piece. And what I had to do was I had to tie a log onto a bit of string and throw it right over the tunnel, minding Roger because he was on the other side. Threw it right over the tunnel. They tied it onto a piece of netting, and Roger pulled it from the other side. So we managed to straighten it out. I stapled it to one end, and we'll come around the other end, wrap the pole around the bottom of it, and pulled it really tight. We got it nice and tight, so the polythene's been pulled down. We'll manage to stitch it up with the tape, and I'm well chuffed with that. As I say, we've got another gale hitting this afternoon. Storm Brendan passed last night. He left quite a bit of damage. The allotments are quiet at the moment up here, but no doubt there'll be quite a few people come to repair fences and that today. But I want to be back down before that next storm hits with. And I don't want to be caught up here. But we'll get on, we'll get the light on in the greenhouse at home. I've got the heater on down there, just my little tube here. It only keeps it frost free. And that's all I want down there. I don't want a lot of heat down there. I'm going to be putting plastic containers and that over my seeds. That's going to lift the temperature up. So if I get 50, 55, I'm well chuffed for that. Bring the seeds away nice and slowly. I've been looking at my sprouts out there. There's some fantastic sprouts out there. I'm going to take a few of them back. Which brings on to another point. Brassicas. Now there'll be people starting to sow them already, but this will be for the shows, the big shows. If you want good brassicas, hang on to March. I always say that, especially up north here. We always hang on till about March. And I like to make it cold sown. They'll just be in the 100-foot poly tunnel up on the shelf, just cold sown, no heat whatsoever, full light, and you get a nice, strong little plant. But I'll go through all that in the 2 or 3 videos coming up there. I've got lots to talk about this month. I want to get the strawberries started next week, putting them in the baskets. So we'll do that. But we'll get these grapevines out of the way. We'll get on home. I'll make a mix up, make a chamomile tea up, and I want to chip a few seeds. Just to make sure they're viable for sowing. I've got some melons to try out, and I've got some chilli seed now. Opening the chilli seed pack the other day, it didn't look too grand. Although I had dusted them with yellow sulphur, there must have been a little bit of dampness on it, and parts of them have a little bit mould on them. So I threw them parts away. I've kept some of the drier ones, and I'm going to try a few of the chilli seeds. If they don't root, fair enough, I can send them for a packet, easy enough. I have got the Long Joe chilli, which I saved from Dean Hood last year. I will be planting them. But we like to have a few block peppers and some of the longhorn chilies that I grew last year were nice, so I might send away for another pack of them. Got plenty of time. End of January is fine for me for sowing them. End of January, beginning of February, starting to warm up a little bit. Put a little bit of heat on down home. And, as I say, put them under a cover and they'll grow easy enough. I was going to bring the bud box out of the garage and put it in the greenhouse, but unfortunately the size of it is just too big. As I say, I've only got a little 6x6 at home, so I thought putting it on the back bench where my heater was, it would be okay, but it's not. It's hitting the roof, it's taking far too much room up, and I think for what I'm going to get in that bud box, it's not worth it. I'm going to lose half my bench, so I'm going to leave the bud box where it is for the time being, and I'm going to just start where I did last year, start sowing in the greenhouse down home, but without the light. I might put a light on for the odd day or two, not very much. I've got nothing in there, no show onions or show leeks, so don't really need it. The secondary lighting will come in handy later on, but up here I'll just use natural light, and I'm hoping to get just enough temperatures to set a few of the seeds away, some of the lobelia and some of the onions. I've got some Spanish onions, they grew fantastic last year, so what I'll do is stick some Spanish onions in here, and we'll grow them just as show onions, same way. And hopefully we'll get some good crops. But I'm going to try these, put a note on these, so I know exactly what's what. Cut this bunch of dead wood, as Jason calls it, and you'll be quite surprised. I'll take this down home and I'll cut it up down home, so you can see exactly what I do with them. Okay? So we'll get these grapevines on the go now, and we'll get a bit of chamomile tea made up. Okay? See you down home. Well, good afternoon everybody. As I say, I managed to get back home after yesterday. Some heavy rains come over in the afternoon. We didn't get the winds. Well, I had promised the heavy winds, but I'm as happy as Larry with that. Over the moon. As I say, we managed to get the tunnel strapped down with a couple of pieces of cargo netting. But I'm back home anyway, and I managed to get some of the canes brought down that I wanted. Now, all I've been eating this afternoon, I've made my compost up, and my compost is multi-purpose compost. And in that, now your pots, depending on what you're using, I'm using 1 litre pots. So what I would do is I'll put 2 of these to multi-purpose, and 1 of them to sharp sand, or a half to sharp sand and a half to perlite, which is done this afternoon. I love using perlite. It's a bit expensive, like, but I think you get a fantastic mix with it. So I use half of that of sand and half of perlite, and it gives you a really lovely free draining mixture, and that's what I like. Now it's nice to have a free draining mixture for your roots, for rooting your canes off, but at the same time you want a free draining, but you want to be able to compact it, because when you're putting your canes in, you don't want to have them flopping around. You want them nice and solid, but I'll show you that later. I've already done one. I've got that stand up there, and there's my second one. Now to find your bottom and your top, of course, is to put a straight cut on the bottom and a slanted cut on the top. I'm going to stick that one in now, and I'll go right into the sand. Now what I've got in here, there's 2 inches of sand in the bottom of the pot, sharp sand. So you can stick your canes in and they'll stand up quite easy. Now this is a black one. This is a black hamburger. I just got it last year, and I got some lovely vines growing off it. So I've took the cuttings off there. Once again, I've got the straight cut in the bottom. I'm going to stand that next to the pot. So that's 1, that's 2 buds are inside the pot, and there's 1. Second one is up there. So that's the second one. I'm going to go 1/2 inch past there on a slanting cut, and there's your cane. That's perfect. Now what it is, as I showed you before, is in between the leaf nodes there's a wee bud. Now these buds were set last year, so you know, providing your canes isn't too dry and it should be okay. You can test that by just flexing it around. It's nice and flexible. It's still got moisture in that cane, and that's fine. If it snaps, then it's far too dry. What I like to do is I like to take mine round about the solstice, but unfortunately I was in hospital at the end of last year, couldn't do it. So I've done them this week, and all I have to do now is a straight cut in the bottom, is to dip it. I've got a little bit Manuka honey. The wife got a job, and we were both bad over the holidays with full of flu, so she thought by getting some of that I was going to give her. It helped with her chest, that's about all. So I've dipped the end in honey. You don't have to use honey. You can use yellow sulphur, or you can use the powder, rooting powder. All different ways of using it. But as I say, I like to dip it in honey. The honey is going to stop on for quite a while. It's going to seal that wound up, and that's going to be pushed right in. So I've got what I've got there. I've got 3 cuttings, all standing. And it's easy enough just to pour your compost into them. Nice mixture. You can just stand your cuttings in. Once that's done, and you get a little bit of bamboo or whatever you've got handy, I'll just use the end of that, and it's just push it down, straighten your canes up, put it down, gives you a chance to get your canes where you want them. Now we have it. Just make sure it's nice and firm. Pack it in again. And there we are. So that's Jason. There's your grapevines, pal. So there's 3 vines in there. All I need now is I'm going to go upstairs tonight and make a cameline tea up. Quite easy to make up. I've mentioned it before. A couple of tea bags, and a litre of boiling water. Pour it over them. Let it stand overnight. Squeeze the tea bag in and go, bring it downstairs. Put in your litre spray. That's all you want. Put in your litre spray. A little bit of soap, washing up liquid, and you're good to go. Give you a good soaking. You can't get this a good watering first off and then just let it dry out. It's with the sand being in it, it should give good free drainage. What you don't want to do is to have them over wet. So I like to give it a good soaking, let them run off, and then just spray the tops of the cane. So these can just go into a cold greenhouse. They're quite sturdy enough to sit in a cold greenhouse. I'll take them up where the tunnel is. I'll put these on the bar and take them up the allotment, and they'll sit in a melon house where there's just that little bit of heat on. Not much, but what they'll do is they'll just help them root away, and they'll be perfect. Quite an easy job to do. Been picking some new trays up from Les's shop down in Shields. These are great. These come from the fruit shop, so no doubt there'll be a million and one uses for them. I'll be able to sort through them. So when I get my scissors out, now that pile I brought down yesterday when I bundled them up at the garden. Now these are the white grapes, or the yellow grapes. So I'm just going to cut them out. There's plenty on here I can take off. But once again, take a little bit of that out of there, and just leave 2 inches in the bottom, which is 2 inches in the bottom there. That's fine for me. That's the next one. And then once again, what you'll find where the leaves have been, you'll find just little strands of where the leaves were. Clip them off of there. Just clip them off with your secateurs, right back to the side there. Not going to do any harm whatsoever. As I say, where you've had a leaf grown out of it, you should have a node, and there's some nice, lovely little buds all the way up there. That's a lovely one, nice thick one. So what you want to do is you want to choose your cane, what part of the cane you want it for. You'll probably get 2 out of that one, but I get so many, I only like to take 3 to a pot. I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to take them middle buds there, so I want to come from this one here. In fact, I'll come from that one there. I'll use that for the base one. I'll come half an inch from there, so it's a nice straight cut from there. Once again, stand it up next to your pot. So I've got 1, 2 buds there below, 1, 2, which is that nice big fat plump bud there on the top. Once again, half inch past that on a slanted cut, and there's your vine there. First class. Now, out of that one, I'll probably get another one. So once again, I'm going to come to the bottom bud. This is going to be a little bit of a bender. Half inch past there, cut on a nice flat one, and then I'm going to leave them on. I'll stand there. Yes, that's well above there. So I think I'll cut that on a nice slant, which gives us a first class one. Don't forget stick it in your honey or your rooting compost or whatever you're using, rooting hormone. As I say, there's multitudes of different things you can use. But with the honey, I find it really sticks to it. And it gives the broken flesh where you cut a really good coating. They've been using honey for hundreds and thousands of years for healing wounds and whatnot. So I cannot see it being any difference for what we're using here. And once again, nice and flexible that, so the ear is moist. There's a little bit of cracking on the top, but it's the bottom end I'm thinking about, and that's a nice straight cut there, so I'm happy with that. Stand next there, I've got 1, I've got 2 buds there, half inch. Now again, once again, it's so easy, and as I say, just give them a drink, and with all the extra sand that you put in the water, it should give you a nice free draining mixture. They're just standing up as they are in the sand, and then put your mixture around them. You can get your canes nicely into the centre where you want them, and it's an easy job just to get a bit of stick, and then just going around them so they're nice and tight. And once again, finish off your pot. And within 5 minutes, I've got 2 pots of cuttings done already. So don't forget to mark them before you start mixing them up. That's if you have got 2 different kinds of grapes. I'll put these to one side. I know the thicker ones are the white ones. So before I go any further, I'm going to make a couple of markers up, stick them in there. They're the black ones, and these are the white ones. Now I've got enough there to do at least another pot. So I'll do them. get them done, and then I'll get a little bit mixed made up, and we'll get them onions in. We'll start on the onions and the lobelia, I think. Okay, so I'll see you all again soon. Right, well, good morning everybody. Hope you can hear. Hopefully the noise of the dryer and the washer is good. Of course it is a working kitchen in progress. But a couple of little jobs I want to get done before I pop down to the greenhouse to get my sewing finished. Or get my sewing started, I should say. Lots of comments online again about the chamomile tea. Well, I use chamomile all the time. And what this does for me, it gives a bit of protection against all the viral, all the bugs, not so much the bugs, but the diseases that the plants can pick up, especially in these cold and damp conditions. Years ago we used to use a blue solution, a blue crystallized powder that stunk of sulfur or ammonia, and we used to spray that on. It did give some protection against damp enough. But I stopped using that years ago, and once I found out about the use of chamomile tea, it's great antiseptic, and it gives that plant just a little bit of protection, as I say, against the likes of damp and nothing like that. Now, I boiled this up last night, and just boil the kettle up in a litre of water, and I put 2 tea bags. So you don't have to put 2 in, just 1 tea bag will do. And it's just nice in now to really squeeze them tea bags out. And of course the other one, in my brown bin, and I've got a little bin there that I keep all my brown rubbish out of the kitchen. It goes into there, so nothing goes to waste. And of course all I do is just tip that, and I've got a nice litre there, perfect that. Get the spray handy. All you want is a litre spray. So that's just check to make sure there's nothing in it that should be in it. I'm okay, because I don't use any chemicals at all, or any chemical sprays, especially not in these. If I have to use a little bit weed killer up the lot on the pots on the outside, and then I've got a spray that I use just for that. Very rarely I do it, but if I have to. Now it's still quite warm, that. It's not completely cold, but and that's in there. That's up to the litre mark. That's spot on. Now we can use it just a little bit warm. But what it will do, don't forget, I'm not going to show you the detergent we use, but it's just ordinary washing up liquid, and I like to put 1 good or 2 good drops in there. And of course, what that'll do, with the mixture still being warm, it should mix well in with it. Nice and tight. Give that a good shake, and you're good to go. You should get a nice, once you start put a bit of pressure on it, you'll get a nice soapy liquid coming out. Press that back to the jar. Spot on. That's perfect. When we soapy liquid come back out, I'll put that back in. Because nothing goes to waste in here. A little bit of that back in there, and of course gives it time to get a little bit washing up done before the missus comes back in. She doesn't mind us using that kitchen, but as long as the utensils. And when I'm making mixes like this, as I say, the chamomile tea will not hurt anything. So all I do is make sure I get the utensils washed out properly. What I did do last night before I knocked off, I can just reach up there. I've got my gas boiler just behind us, and what I did do last night, well, it's lovely, that's perfect. It's got a nice steam on top. It was just an ordinary plastic container. You know where you get it from your, wherever you get your takeaway summers. And what I did last night, I put a layer, that's fine, I put a layer of tissue paper on the bottom there. If I can just tip it up, you should be able to see them. And what is on the top is the melon seed that I saved from last year. That's the baby melon, baby bush, nice little red ones. They were perfect. I was well pleased with them. And on the bottom, the smaller seed, or the collection of Chilean peppers that I saved. Now there was a little bit of dampness in amongst a couple of them, so I'm still hopeful. I've taken most of the damp ones off. What I should have done was put them straight in an envelope and dried them out. That's what I normally do. But I had a couple of little plastic containers, and there was quite a bit of seed, and I put them into them, so I think that's been where the problem is. It's sweating up with that bit of dampness, and of course. But the melons, they're perfect. And I'll leave them in there for about 2 or 3 days, and hopefully they'll chit. And if they do chit, then I know the seed is viable. It's my own seed, and it's the only time I'll chit seeds. I've never chit anything before now. And of course, just a little spray. Pop that back up first. Just a little spray. The chamomile tea on top of there. And you'll go back on top of the boiler. And hopefully we'll get some nice. They should start chitting. Now once they start chitting, I know that they're viable and I can use them. I'll send a few out. There's a few people ask for them. As I say, they grew really well for me last year, the little baby bush, so I'm going to incorporate them. What I have got upstairs, I've got some seed from the pea hunter that I saved. They were fantastic, great crops, so I'm going to use the pea hunter alongside with the baby bush, and of course alongside the sweet corn and the Three Sisters. But if you want to join me and I do the Three Sisters challenge, we'll be starting that off in around about April time, when we sow our sweet corn. There's been lots of comments online last night, once again. People want to start sowing tomatoes. Can I sow tomatoes now? Of course you can. Read your backyard packet and it'll tell you sow from January up till April. But, and this is the big but, if you're going to sow now, you've got to make sure you've got all your gear and all your preparations done, and you've got plenty of space to put them, because once you sow that seed, they're going to start growing and growing and growing. If you haven't got that, if you haven't got all the gear for them, if you haven't got heat, you haven't got light, especially this time of year, you've got no, very poor light. But you're going to need that light for the seedlings, stop them from going leggy. You're going to need heat, and you're going to need space. So you're going to be heating the whole greenhouse for the sake of a few tomatoes. No. Wait until March. March is when I start sowing mine, even a bit gentle heat. March is fine, that's up north. Once again, it depends on what part of the country you're in. If you're down south, by all means start sowing them. If you're going to sow them cold, in a cold greenhouse, then I suggest you use a tray with a plastic dome on top of it, which I'll show you when we get downstairs. I'm going to start sowing now. Will not be tomatoes, will not be anything soft or succulent like that. They'll all wait until April, even into May. As I say, my sweet corn will not be sown until April. And I get them ready for when I need them for planting out. Now, it's all very well sowing stuff. Sowing seeds and that now, but it's if you haven't got the preparations outside, if you haven't got the weather, and you're taking young plants outside, you're going to lose them. So, you know, if you want my advice, just hold on. There's nothing gained by trying to rush our crops. I think just nice, slow and steady. If you're showing, by all means, all the show lads, if you're looking at pictures of the greenhouse and that chocolate, leeks, onions, but they need them for the shows. And they've got to give that extra heat, that extra light to bring them on. But if you're just going for the kitchen, and for your own enjoyment, and hey, there's stacks of time, believe you me. So this is what I'm going to be sowing there today. I'm going to start my lobelia off. I've got a little pack of viola. I want to get them sown in now, because viola, they're beautiful in baskets and pots, but they're a little slow on starting. The likes of pansy, and that take a little bit of getting up, so I'm going to sow them in a bit gentle heat. In a tray with a container on top, so the temperature is going to be around about 50-55. That'll be fine for them. And of course I'm going to sort my big Spanish onions out. Now once again, I've got a completely different method of showing my onions, or sowing my onions. I've got a pack of Spanish red and a pack of Spanish white, nice and sweet. I never print my onions off at a croup stage, but I'll mention all that downstairs when we get on. But what I do need, I need the chamomile tea, I need the seeds, and of course we'll go downstairs in the greenhouse and get this video finished up. Okay, so I'll see you. Right, good morning everybody, we're off again. I've managed to get myself downstairs. If you can see, I'm basking in a little bit of sunshine. Not very often I get this. This is between my neighbour's house and my house, and of course when the sun rises it comes up in between. And of course it's only for about an hour of a morning. It'll slowly disappear behind my house. It'll not rise above the roof until middle of next month at early March. So this is one advantage of where I live, is I don't get the early morning sunshine. Not like up the plot. I get the plot on the plot. I get it from first thing in the morning, last thing at night, and that's been my idea of starting to sow a few seeds up there. As I say, that it's just disappearing around my house here now, and the sun's gone in now. I'll not see it again until tomorrow morning, just for a half an hour. But as I say, right, cracking on. Seedlings, onions. I like to get my onions in really early. Unfortunately, I'm a little bit behind this year because I've normally sown them around about the Christmas Day time. A lot of people sow them in trays. All your big growers will sow them in trays, and they'll pot them off at the crook stage. And that's just when the first leaf opens up and you've got like a crook stage. I never do. Never have done, never will do. I like to sow mine in pots. I believe that when your leeks are growing and your root goes down, you get a long tap root, and it hits the bottom of the pot and then starts curling around and making a bit of a tangle with itself. I like to use a deeper pot, so you get a deeper root system growing down, and you've got a stronger plant ready for potting off, which will take the shock of being shifted from one pot to another. And of course, once again, all depends on what your seed you're using. If you get a seed packet, no, not with this one, because these are Spanish seeds, you'll not get a seed count in them. Most of your British packets, if you're sending away for onion seed, it'll have the seed count will be on the back of the packet. So check your packet. If you've got 100 seed, sit them out on a bit of paper and divide them into 4 or divide them into 5. 20 seed, and 20 seed will go in a pot like that, a 9 centimetre pot fine. Yeah, 6, 7 centimetre pot. They'll go in there fine. But what these will do is they'll go into a tray. I've got a tray ready. Into a tray ready, and of course they'll have a plastic container, which I had somewhere, which has disappeared. A plastic container on the top. Now that's going to raise the temperature by another 5 degrees. So first thing in the morning here, I'm looking now, and I've got 52 on there, and that's, to me, that's spot on. By the time I put them in there, and then there's going to raise the temperature again at least another 5 degrees. You know, so I'm going to have temperatures around about, without any sunshine, I'm going to have temperatures around about the 50 mark. That's spot on for my onions. I like them growing away nice and slow, not too fast. First thing I like to do, once again, the compost I've made up is multi-purpose compost. Half a pot of sharp sand and half a pot of perlite, if you can afford the perlite, because perlite is very expensive. So it's the only time I'll use it is when I do these early potting ons. When I get into sowing my marigolds and stuff like that, the bigger seeds, the dahlias, I'll use my own potting mix. Reason being, because my own potting mix, you're going to get weeds growing amongst it. So when you're sowing fine seeds like the lobelia and your onions, you don't want to have weeds growing through. And for a lot of the new lads that's come on, and lasses, if you don't know your weeds from your seeds, this is perfect, a perfect mix for you. But once we get into sowing the big stuff like the dahlias and that, I'll make my own compost up, and then next big seedlings coming through, you can distinguish from the weeds easy. And after a couple of years, you'll be flying. You'll be using the same compost as me. But hey ho, away we'll go. First things first, give your compost a good soaking. Chamomile tea. That's them done. Well, the seed itself, I just like to open a little packet up. Sometimes I bring a little cup downstairs, a little plastic cup, and tip them into them. But I've forgotten to bring it down this morning, so I'll just, what I'll do, I'll tip them into my hand, because I've got a good idea of what seeds in here. I would reckon there's be about 2,000 in there. That's excellent value for a couple of euros. It's the only time I'll get seeds brought in from across the continent, is when the friends go to Malaga and Barcelona and whatnot, and they bring us back my seed. Now, I've just tipped a few in there. Now there's about 100 seed alone in there. So if I can just by my hand, I can divide that in half, like that, and then I can quarter it, just like that. So that 100 seed, I reckon I've got about 25 at the most. Just dividing that like that, I've got about 25 in each one, and that's just a little portion of seedlings there. Your pots are ready, so just take that little portion of seed and just gently sprinkle them around the top. Once again, sprinkling them around the pot. So you've got around about the 25 seed per pot, which is fine. You don't want any more than that, because these are going to grow on for a few weeks, even a couple of months before they decide to put these on. A lot of the onion growers will put theirs on heat and lights. The onions will be up within a couple of days, and they'll be putting them off within a couple of weeks. But these are going to be sitting here for a few more there. These are going to be sitting in these pots for about 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, until there's a lovely strong little plant ready for potting off. I'll take the whole plant out, and then they'll go potted off into cups or pots or into the same as them, and they'll be perfect for planting out. The reason I put them in now is because by the time they get potted up, it's going to be in late January, it's going to be late February, early March. They're going to go into the bigger pots again in March, and they're going to sit in them pots again till mid-April to the end of April. And then they'll go up the allotment, they'll go on the back benches or the cold frame or the cold polytunnel, and they'll sit there until beginning of May. And if the weather's fine, that's when they get planted out. So it's, you know, it's all about it's not all about prepping your seedlings and your compost. It's about getting your timing right. If you don't get your timing right, you know you're going to be in trouble, because what you're going to have to do, you're going to have massive plants. If you've got them too early, you're going to have to keep in your greenhouses or your polytunnels or wherever. If you haven't got a lot of room, you're going to be snookered. You're going to have to give them the protection. As I say, it all depends on what part of the country you live in. You know, if you're down south, it's not so bad. Your growing season's going to be at least 3 weeks ahead of us up north here. So, you know, that's what you've got to take into consideration. Loads of comments online about the tomatoes and it. As I say, check your packet. British seed growers are the best in the world. You get your packet, it'll have when to sow from January up till April. Now that's depending on the gear you've got. If you haven't got the gear, then don't start sowing any earlier. This is a perfect time for it. If you get a little bit of heater, all I've got a little tubular heater in here, and it's just giving a perfect 50 degrees. I've got a light here. I can put the light on if I need be to give them a secondary lighting. I'll just knock it on for the time being, and you'll see the difference in here. There's the light going in now, but it'll probably give it a little bit of discoloration to the camera. But that's my light. I can put that secondary lighting on. When I get really dark days, I can come down for a couple of hours and put that secondary lighting on if I need be. I've got bits and pieces growing in here, so you know I've just got to keep an eye on it. So that's onions in. Once again, the compost I've done. I had a little bit of compost left over, and I've put some extra perlite with that, so it's really fine. And all you want is just a light covering over the top of that. What I should have done was to give the seedlings a little blast of chamomile first, which I forgot. Give the seedlings, although you're soaking the bottom, I like to go over the seedlings as well, and that gives them that little bit of protection. So there we are. The onions are in. Now I'll have to mark these because I've got some red onions to sow later on, and I don't want to mix them up. So within 5 minutes we've got 6 nice pots of onions, and of course these are the Spanish large onions. I've got some absolutely fantastic ones. If you go back to my videos, and you'll see when I was taking onions up last year, me and Roger had some great ones. So that's them done. That's the 6 of them, and of course all I need now is a pot, and there we have it. Fantastic. Here I go on the back bench here, and quite happy. Just sit there for a few weeks till they start coming through. Now my other way of sowing, I must sow the lobelia today because I like to get it in nice and early. And of course, I've got it ready. Compost again. Just press a pencil in the compost. The compost is nice and damp. It's not moist. It's just, you know, it's just nice and damp. Press a pencil in and make 3 lines in the top of your compost. Go back to my videos about sowing and that, and you know I do it every time. Make 3 lines, and what this does when you come to prick them off, it makes it a lot easier for you to grab hold of the plant. Now lobelia can be very tricky. Different people, they hate growing it, but I never have any problems with lobelia. You get it sown this time of the year, or even into February, late February, it's fine. Once again, I've got the packet of seed. Now if I read the back of the packet, it's going to give you average contents 1,000 seed. 1,000 seed for £2. Can't beat it, as I say. But they can be very tricky. So all I like to do is to fold the packet And then just go along the lines. I should have put my glasses on, which I think I'd better do. They'll be under here somewhere. At least I don't have to start looking for them. Get my mini becks on because they're absolutely tiny. And of course, just go along the furrow. There's the seed there, just starting to come down there. That's one line. That's 2 lines. That's 3 lines. So what you have 3 lines of seed. Just open this packet up because you always find a lot hiding in the corner there. And of course there we are, a little bit of seed on the bottom there. Knock that off into the furrows. I like it when you get the little packets inside, the expensive lobelia. I don't mind paying £2 or £3 a packet if you're getting good seedlings. As I say, I've always been a great believer in the British seeds. Still think we've got the best growers in the world and the best seedsmen in the world. Now, with these, they do not get coloured, lobelia. They're on the top there now and they're just left on the top. If you want, what I have done in the past is just to get a little handful of perlite and just gently sprinkle a little bit on the top of the lobelia, and all that does is anchors your seedlings down as they grow through. They do not want to be prohibited from light, and that's what stops them from growing. You don't want any cover, any compost or anything over them. But there's quite a few seedlings, always check your packet. There's quite a few flower seeds like that. They don't like Antirrhinums is one of them. Petunias, they don't like being prohibited from light. So when you sow them on the top of the compost, in rows like that. If you're going to broadcast them, fair enough, do the same thing. Have a nice flat surface. Go across with a chamomile tea first, and once again I'm going to give it a little spray over the top of there. Now that is fine. There's not too much water, not too much moisture there, because cool conditions, like I say, it can be tricky. I'll keep the bag because I'll put a little marker through there, and I'll stick the packet in. But once again, small tray, and what these will do, we'll go into there. Now I can get 2 of these to a tray, put them in there, same as onions, push that up, and once again, on the top, I've got plenty of tops. You can buy them pretty cheap. As I say, I always go down to Wilko's or one of them. You can buy these really cheap. And that again, top over there, and that's fantastic. I can just keep a check on them. The beauty of the trays, the black trays that I use, they've got no holes in, and I can just tip a little bit of water on the bottom. And with it being a nice sandy mix, the trays just soak up the water, take up the warm water. Always water from down below, never water from above. And then once again, once the seedlings come through, I'll give them a blast of chamomile tea. It'll stop any dampening off. But that's the 2 main seeds in. I've got red onions to sow, and I've got the last of them to sow. I can get stuck on that today. But before I go off today, the last job I want to do is do what we talked about yesterday, is a grapevine. Well, they're in, I'm over the moon with that. And all they need now is a little spray of chamomile tea. Give the rods a good soak, and a little bit of moisture. Hopefully, Jason, there's them little buds there, keep an eye on them, because within a week or two, few weeks, they'll start sprouting. They'll start fattening up, and that's when you know you've got a vibrant plant and it's grown away. You've got 2 buds down below, that hopefully is going to make root, and you've got 1, 2 buds up of height. If the lower bud fattens up and grows and the top one doesn't, that's easy, because what you can do once you get a hold is to chop the top one off for the second. That's quite an easy job to do. And just let them grow on and grow on until about May, when you pot them up, May or June, and they'll be beautiful young plants to give away to your family and friends. Okay, so that's the grapevines out the way. That's my onions done, and that's the start of my seed sown. So I'm well pleased. I've got a few bits and pieces to do down the other day, bit tidying up to do, and then hopefully you'll get at the plot tomorrow and get started on the new video. So we've been talking about the grapevines. The same applies with the raspberries, the outside raspberries. Now I want to get a bit of work done on them this month. You might think it's early yet, January, but no way. You see, the grapevines are exactly the same. If you haven't cut them back, get them done now. Get them done now in January. Ideally, you want to be done them end of December. I do mine on the solstice every year, but as I explained with being there in hospital, I couldn't get them done. But get them done now because the sap's going to start rising. Once that sun starts lifting in the sky, you're getting longer days, and then plants are going to come back to life and they're going to start soaking up the nutrients from the soil. The sap's going to start rising in the plants, and of course you're going to go there with your secateurs and start cutting them off, and they're going to start bleeding. Now that's definitely a no-no for me. So hey, if you haven't tackled your vines by now, get them done. And of course, what we're going to do next week, or the start of the next video, we're going to start on what canes outside, what fruit canes, and of course the raspberries are the first ones. So I want to make sure them beds are nice and clean. I'm going to go over the top of them with a nice bucket of fresh manure. Doesn't matter if it's fresh. The last couple of months, the rains and the frost and whatever is going to break it down, and you're going to have a nice crumbling mixture for the springtime. When them plants do start waking up, they're going to be the same thing. They're going to start getting the sap rising in the canes. So what you want to do is make sure they're nice and tight, which you always do. I'll probably give them a little bit of a spraying, a little bit of J's fluid in the water, and give them a spraying the same as the grapevine with the rods. I'll spray that. Get the canes nicely tied in so they're nice and tight. Some fresh horse manure, and I'll give a sprinkling of sulphate of potash at the end of this month into February, when I know the plants are starting to come back to life again. You will not think it, but the sap's rising in them plants and they're starting to tick over, getting ready for the springtime. Once the weather warms up, then they'll start busting into growth. If you've got all the nutrients there ready for them to start feeding, it's a lot better for them. Take my honey back upstairs with us, and the wife will be looking for that. It's a medicine it's a medicine taker, so that's one job I'll have to get upstairs. But that's it for now. Over the moon. I hope you've enjoyed the videos. Lots of newcomers coming online. Lots of new subscribers, which I'm well pleased with. I hope you're enjoying the videos, and I hope we're giving you some help. Don't forget to comment down below if you want to ask a question. If you can't wait for the videos, and you get online on our Facebook page, which is Jeff Holman on the Plot. Send a friend's request, and we'll get you on board on the plot, which we're on most nights. Some great gardeners, right throughout the country, lots abroad. We've got some from New Zealand now, Australia, the States, all over. So some great guys on there. If you want to come on board, send a friend's request, and we'll help you as much as we can. If you get stuck with a problem, just comment down below. If we cannot help you, there's plenty of good like-minded gardeners on our site that will. Okay, so for the time being, I'm going to knock off and get this video online hopefully tonight, and I'll see you all again next week. Hopefully a bit of fine weather, and we'll get ourselves outside and we'll tackle these raspberries. Okay, I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.